It was a quiet morning on March 27, 1992, at the St. Pius X convent in Kottoor, Kerala, India. The nuns in the convent were beginning their usual routines, preparing for morning prayers. Among them was Sister Abhaya, the 19-year-old Catholic nun and pre-degree student at BCM College. But unlike other mornings, Sister Abhaya did not show up for prayers. Hours later, her lifeless body was discovered inside the convent's well, setting off one of the most controversial murder investigations in India's history. 81st, the police declared her death a suicide. But over the years, as evidence emerged and witnesses came forward, the truth was revealed: Sister Abhaya was murdered, and the people responsible were hiding in plain sight. Even more shocking, a petty thief played a crucial role in solving the case nearly 3 decades later. This is the full story of how justice was finally served after 28 long years. On the night of March 26, 1992, everything at the convent seemed normal. Sister Abhaya went to bed early, as she always did, because she had to wake up at 4 a.m. for her morning prayers. The next morning, as the other nuns were getting ready, Sister Abhaya went to the kitchen to get some water. It was still dark outside, and the convent was silent. But what happened next would remain a mystery for years. When she didn't show up for prayers, the nuns became concerned and began searching for her. Hours passed, and there was still no sign of her. Then, someone noticed that the wooden covering of the well was slightly open. When they looked inside, they saw her lifeless body floating in the water. Panic spread through the convent. The police were called, and an investigation began immediately. But what should have been a straightforward case quickly took a suspicious turn. When local police arrived, they examined the scene and concluded that Sister Abhaya had died by suicide. However, there were many signs that suggested otherwise. Her slippers were found inside the kitchen, meaning she had never left voluntarily. More importantly, when her body was recovered, her head had deep wounds, as if she had been struck with a heavy object. A forensic examination later confirmed that she was likely unconscious before she was thrown into the well, meaning that someone had attacked her first. Despite these clear indications of foul play, the authorities insisted that it was a case of suicide. The post-mortem report was manipulated, and crucial evidence disappeared. The convent and church leaders were silent, and any attempts to question the case were shut down. As time passed, people began to suspect that someone powerful was trying to bury the truth. The case was later transferred to the crime branch, but they, too, concluded that there was no murder. However, due to growing public pressure and media scrutiny, the case was eventually handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, in 1993. For years, the case remained unsolved. The CBI conducted multiple investigations but struggled to find solid evidence. Witnesses were intimidated, documents vanished, and forensic reports contradicted each other. Then, after more than a decade of dead ends, an unexpected witness changed everything. A petty thief named Adaka Raju had been silently carrying a secret for 16 years. On the night of the murder, Raju had broken into the convent grounds intending to steal valuables. But as he was sneaking through the premises, he accidentally witnessed something that would later become key evidence in the case. Raju saw Father Thomas Kottoor, a senior priest, along with Sister Sephy and another priest, Father Jose Putrakayil, inside the kitchen. The three appeared to be in a situation that they clearly didn't want anyone to see. At that moment, Sister Abhaya walked in, completely unaware of what was happening. What she saw shocked her, and she gasped in surprise. The three panicked. If Abhaya revealed what she had seen, it could destroy them. Desperate to silence her, one of them grabbed a blunt object and struck her on the head. She collapsed instantly. In a panic, they carried her unconscious body to the well and threw her inside, hoping to make it look like a suicide. For years, Raju remained silent. He was just a thief. Who would believe him? But when he was questioned again years later, he finally confessed to what he had seen. His eyewitness account became a turning point in the case. With this new evidence, the CBI was finally able to move forward. In 2008, after 16 years of cover-ups, they arrested Father Thomas Kottoor, Sister Sephy, and Father Jose Putrakail. Investigators discovered that Sister Sephy had prepared for the crime in advance. It was revealed that she had even heated a knife and used it to burn her private parts to make it appear as though she had been asleep and had not been involved. However, forensic tests later proved that this was a deliberate act to destroy evidence. After years of delays, the trial finally took place in 2020. The court found Father Thomas Kottoor and Sister Sephy guilty of murder, conspiracy, and destruction of evidence. On December 23, 2020, the two were sentenced to life in prison. Father Jose Putrakail was acquitted due to lack of evidence, but many still believe he played a role in the crime. The Sister Abhaya murder case remains one of the most shocking and controversial murder cases in Indian history. It took 28 years of legal battles, investigations, and public pressure to finally bring the killers to justice. The case exposed deep corruption within both law enforcement and religious institutions. Despite the long delays, the dedication of activists, journalists, and honest investigators finally ensured that the truth was revealed. And in an ironic twist, a small-time thief, someone whom society would normally overlook, turned out to be the key to solving one of India's longest-running murder mysteries. What do you think about this case? Do you believe there were more people involved who were never caught? Share your thoughts in the comments below.